6:15 in the morning. That's when everything fell apart. I was standing at my front gate, still holding my brother's dog tag on that old carabiner. The metal was cold against my palm. 8 veterans stood behind me in wet swim trunks, water dripping onto my patio stones. 3rd week of our program. 3rd week of something that actually worked. Then I heard the chains. 2 black security vehicles rolled up. Not police, private. The logo said Secure Neighbor Solutions, but the vibe said something else entirely. 2 guards stepped out, radios crackling. Behind them, a silver Audi. Douglas Morris climbed out like he owned the street. And technically, as president of the Homeowners Association, he thought he did. "Mr. Cross." He didn't ask, he announced. "Your illegal operation ends today." I smelled cigarette smoke from the guards. Same smell that hit me at James's funeral when I couldn't get through the eulogy. When I stood there like a coward and walked away from the microphone. "These people," Morris continued, gesturing at my guys like they were trespassing strangers, "are violating access protocols. You're running an unlicensed medical facility. This pool is closed, immediately." Marcus Jones stood behind me, 42 years old, Afghanistan vet, missing his left leg below the knee. His prosthetic was still inside. He whispered, "Ty, maybe we should just—" "Nobody's going anywhere," I said. Morris smiled, not the friendly kind, the kind that says, "I already won." He handed me a folded document. Violation of disability accommodation standards, $15,000 in fines. Any attempt to continue will result in police involvement and potential seizure of property. The paper felt like it weighed 10 pounds. "This isn't a medical facility," I said. "It's adaptive swim training. Without proper licensure, without certified therapists, you're putting vulnerable people at risk, Mr. Cross." He turned to the veterans. "Gentlemen, I'm sorry you've been misled. The Homeowners Association respects your service. That's why we've partnered with Veterans First Foundation to provide real, professional therapy. 25 miles away, fully certified. 25 miles. Marcus didn't have a car, neither did 3 others. If you're watching Karenology, you know it's never just about rules. It's about control." "You've got 24 hours, Morris said. He climbed back into his Audi. The guards stayed, posted up like sentries. Marcus grabbed his crutches. "Ty, I can't fight this. I'll find another way." I watched him limp toward the street, watched the others follow, the sound of wet feet on concrete, the scrape of aluminum crutches, the gate clicking shut. My phone buzzed. Email from the County Veterans Affairs Office. Subject, Program Inquiry. I opened it standing there, guards watching me. "Your program is not registered as an official veteran service. We cannot provide legal protection or endorsement. Please cease operations until proper certification is obtained." 24 hours to get a therapist license. Cost, $18,000. Training, 1 year minimum. My bank account, $4,200. I looked at James's dog tag, Corporal James Cross, KIA 2019, Kandahar Province. He drowned during a river patrol. I was stateside, preparing for a certification exam. Told him I was too tired for another deployment. He went without me, died 2 months later. I built this program to fix what I couldn't fix then, to save people I couldn't save. Now Morris and his private security were erasing it. I went inside, sat at my kitchen table. The pool was visible through the back window, empty, the water still rippling from where the guys had been. My phone rang, unknown number. "Mr. Cross, this is Delia Ramos. I live 4 houses down. I voted against hiring that security company. I think you should know something." I didn't know Delia well, accountant, kept to herself. "The Homeowners Association financials are public record," she said. "I've been looking at them. Our fees went up 18% this year, but Morris won't publish line item expenses. That security contract, $12,000 a month. Nobody asked for security. Nobody voted for it except Morris and his inner circle. Why are you telling me this?" "Because I think he's getting kickbacks, and I think your pool is just in his way." She hung up before I could respond. I pulled up the Homeowners Association website, found the financial section. She was right, fees up, details missing, Secure Neighbor Solutions listed as a vendor, $12,000 per month. I searched the company, private security and home monitoring systems, owner, Kevin Harper, former military contractor. Services included surveillance installation, private patrols, and residential risk assessment. My phone buzzed again, text from Marcus. Foundation called, said if I testify you're unsafe, they'll cover my medical bills. $8,000. I don't know what to do. My chest tightened. $8,000. That was rent, food, medications. Marcus had been talking about suicide 6 months ago, before the pool, before he found something to wake up for. I typed back, do what you need to do. I don't blame you. He didn't respond. I sat there as the sun came up. The dog tag felt heavier. James used to say, Ty, you can't save everyone, but you can save someone. I failed him. Now I was failing Marcus, failing all of them. The guards were still outside. I could see them through the front window. One was on his phone. The other leaned against the vehicle, arms crossed. Morris wanted me gone. The foundation wanted me silenced. The county wouldn't help. And my best friend was about to testify against me for survival money. I looked at the pool again, thought about every morning, the way Marcus smiled when he hit 10 laps, the way Garcia stopped flinching at loud noises, the way Thompson said, this is the first place I've felt human in 3 years. What would you do? I opened my laptop, started searching. If Morris wanted a fight over disability rights, I'd give him one. But first, I needed to understand the rules he was using against me. Americans with Disabilities Act, ADA compliance, adaptive recreation versus medical therapy. The definitions mattered. I read for 2 hours, took notes, found something. Adaptive recreational programs didn't require medical licensing. Only therapeutic programs did. My pool wasn't therapy. It was exercise, community, connection. But proving that meant I needed documentation, standards, evidence that I wasn't just some guy with a pool. I grabbed my phone, called an old contact from my training days, left a message. Then I went outside, walked past the guards to my mailbox. Inside, a formal letter from Veterans First Foundation. Notice of legal action, violation of our standards. They were suing me, $50,000, claiming I discriminated against people with disabilities by not providing proper accessibility. The irony hit like a freight train. They were using disability rights laws to shut down a program for disabled veterans. I walked back inside. The guards watched but didn't move. My phone rang. Marcus? Ty, I'm sorry. I can't do it. I can't testify against you, even for the money. Marcus, you saved my life, man. Your pool is the only reason I'm still here. I'll figure out the bills, but I won't destroy you. He hung up. I sat down, put my head in my hands. James's voice in my memory. Sometimes the right thing costs everything. 24 hours, $50,000 in legal threats, $15,000 in fines, guards outside, county against me, foundation weaponizing the law. But Marcus was still with me, and if he was still fighting, so was I. I opened my laptop again, started drafting an email to the city council. The guards could watch all they wanted. This wasn't over. The city council meeting was in 3 days. I spent those 72 hours like a man possessed, downloaded ADA compliance guidelines, printed accessibility standards, measured every inch of my pool setup, photographed the portable ramps I'd built, documented the safety harnesses, listed every piece of adaptive equipment. My phone didn't stop. Messages from veterans asking what happened. Neighbors I'd never met suddenly having opinions. The Homeowners Association Facebook group lit up like a bonfire. Someone posted, "Local man endangers veterans with illegal pool operation." 43 comments in an hour, most of them brutal. He's exploiting their trauma for attention. Where's the insurance? Where's the liability coverage? My property value is dropping because of this. I didn't respond. Learned that lesson in the Army. Don't fight in the comments section. Fight where it counts. On day 2, I got a call from Sarah Lindquist, director of Veterans First Foundation. Her voice was professional, cold. Mr. Cross, I want you to understand this isn't personal. We have protocols, standards. You can't just decide to run a veteran program without proper oversight. It's not a program, I said. It's people helping people. That's not how the law sees it. You're working with individuals who have documented disabilities, PTSD, physical injuries, that requires medical supervision. I'm a certified adaptive sports trainer, not a licensed therapist. There's a difference. She paused. We're offering alternatives, professional facilities, trained staff, real resources. 25 miles away. How many of my guys have cars? We can discuss transportation options. You mean you can discuss making this go away so you look good? The line went quiet. Then, Mr. Cross, we're not the enemy here. We received a $250,000 grant to serve veterans. We take that responsibility seriously. Where's that money going? Because I haven't seen any new programs. She hung up. I sat there, staring at my notes. $250,000 for a foundation that wasn't doing anything visible, that was suddenly very interested in shutting me down. Delia Ramos showed up at my door that evening. She looked nervous, kept glancing at the security guard still parked outside. Can I come in? I let her in. She put a folder on my kitchen table. I did more digging. The Homeowners Association contract with Secure Neighbor Solutions has a clause. For every resident who signs up for their home security systems, the association gets 15% back as a consulting fee. That's a kickback. Technically legal, barely, but it means Morris has a financial incentive to keep that company here and to make residents feel unsafe enough to buy their services. By shutting down a veterans program, by creating a narrative, illegal activities in the neighborhood, unvetted strangers accessing properties, liability risks, it's fear-based marketing. I looked at the documents. The numbers were right there, black and white. Why are you helping me? She met my eyes. My brother was Army, Iraq. He came home different, angry, scared, wouldn't talk to anyone. 3 years later, he shot himself. Her voice cracked. If someone had offered him what you're offering these guys, maybe he'd still be here. The room felt heavy. I'm sorry, I said. Don't be sorry, fight, because Morris doesn't care about veterans. He cares about money. She left. I put the documents in my folder for the council meeting. The next morning, I got an email from the county. Subject, public hearing scheduled. They'd moved the meeting up, tomorrow, not 3 days. Tomorrow. I called the council office. Why the change? Urgent complaint from the Homeowners Association. They're claiming immediate safety concerns. That's not how this works. Sir, if you want to appeal, you'll need to appear tomorrow at 6 p.m. Otherwise, the closure stands. I had 24 hours to prepare instead of 72. Marcus called that afternoon. Ty, I heard about the meeting. I'm coming. You don't have to. Yeah, I do. You stood up for me. Time I stood up for you. They offered you $8,000 to testify against me. I know. I told them to shove it. He laughed, bitter. My credit's already destroyed. What's another few months? I wanted to argue, tell him to take the money, but I needed him there. Thanks, brother. Thank me when we win. That night, I couldn't sleep, kept thinking about James, about the day I got the call, about standing at his funeral and freezing, about all the ways I'd failed him. This program was supposed to fix that, supposed to mean something. Now it was slipping away. I got up at 4 a.m., made coffee, reviewed my notes again. The ADA guidelines were clear. Adaptive recreational programs didn't need medical licensing, only therapeutic ones. My program wasn't therapy. It was community, exercise, support. But proving that to a room full of bureaucrats and Morris's lawyers, that was different. I packed everything into a bag. Documents, photos, equipment specs, testimonials from the guys, letters from their families. At 5:30 p.m., I drove to City Hall. The parking lot was packed, way more than usual for a council meeting. Inside, the chamber was standing room only, over 100 people. I recognized some faces, homeowners association members, Morris and his lawyers in the front row, Sarah Lindquist from the foundation sitting near the back. And there, in the middle section, were my guys, Marcus, Garcia, Thompson, 6 others, all in their service jackets, ribbons visible. Marcus nodded at me. Garcia gave a thumbs up. The council called the meeting to order. Chair announced, "We're here to address concerns regarding a private recreational program allegedly operating in violation of disability access standards." Morris stood first. His lawyer handed out packets to the council. "Members of the council, this is a matter of public safety and legal liability. Mr. Cross has been operating an unlicensed facility, providing services to vulnerable individuals without proper insurance, training, or oversight. We've documented numerous violations. He projected photos on the screen, my pool, my equipment, zoomed in shots of the ramps and harnesses. These makeshift devices are dangerous. There's no certified lifeguard, no medical professional on site, no emergency protocols. We've received complaints from neighbors about noise, parking violations, and unauthorized access to private property. The council members looked concerned, taking notes. Morris continued. The Homeowners Association supports our veterans. That's why we've partnered with Veterans First Foundation to provide proper, certified services. But Mr. Cross is putting people at risk. We're asking the council to issue a formal cease and desist. Sarah Lindquist stood when invited. Veterans First Foundation echoes these concerns. While Mr. Cross's intentions may be good, intention isn't enough. These veterans deserve professional care, not amateur hour. The room murmured. I saw heads nodding. Then Marcus stood up, unsteady on his prosthetic, but standing. Can I say something? The chair looked surprised. This isn't an open forum, but... I'll be quick. Marcus stepped into the aisle, every eye on him. My name is Marcus Jones. I served 3 tours in Afghanistan, lost my leg, lost my mind for a while too. His voice shook. 6 months ago, I had a loaded gun in my mouth, finger on the trigger. Know what stopped me? Text from Ty. Said his pool was open if I wanted to swim. The room went silent. That pool saved my life. Not because it's fancy, not because there's a therapist with a clipboard, because it's real. Because Ty knows what it's like. Because when I'm in that water, I'm not broken. I'm just a guy swimming. He looked at Sarah Lindquist. Your foundation called me, offered $8,000 to testify against Ty. To say he's unsafe. I'm broke. I need that money. But I'd rather stay broke than lie. Sarah's face went pale. Marcus turned to the council. You shut that pool down, you're not protecting us, you're killing us, slowly, by taking away the one place we have left. He sat down. The chamber erupted, people talking, council members conferring. The chair banged the gavel. Order, Mr. Cross, you have the floor. I stood, grabbed my bag, walked to the front. Time to fight. Members of the council, I'm not a therapist. I don't claim to be. But I am a certified adaptive sports trainer with 12 years of experience. What I run isn't medical treatment. It's recreational exercise. Under ADA guidelines, that doesn't require medical licensing. I pulled out documents, handed copies to the council. Here are the standards. Here's my certification. Here are photos of every safety feature. Portable ramps, harnesses rated for 300 pounds, emergency protocols posted, liability waivers signed. Morris's lawyer interrupted. Waivers don't protect against negligence? I'm not negligent. I'm trained. And every single piece of equipment meets or exceeds adaptive recreation standards. I pulled out my phone, opened a video. This is Marcus entering the pool. Watch. The screen showed Marcus using the ramp. Smooth, controlled, safe. This is Garcia, Thompson, all of them, using equipment I built. Nobody's been injured, nobody's been endangered, because I know what I'm doing. Morris stood. This isn't about competence, it's about legality. Then let's talk legality. I pulled out Delia's documents. Your security contract has a 15% kickback clause. You profit every time a resident buys a security system. You've been manufacturing fear to drive sales. And my pool, full of veterans who make the neighborhood safer, ruins that narrative. The council members' faces changed, interested now. And Veterans First Foundation received $250,000 in grants. Where are the programs? Where are the services? Because I see a lot of talk and zero action. Sarah Lindquist stood. That's completely... The chair cut her off. Miss Lindquist, we'll need to review your grant expenditures, separately. She sat down, looked shaken. Morris tried to recover. This is a distraction from the real issue. The real issue, I said, is that you're using these men as pawns. You don't care about their safety. You care about your income. The room exploded again, council members arguing, Morris's face red. My guys standing now, supporting me. The chair banged the gavel hard. We're taking a recess, 30 minutes. Everyone filed out. I stood there, heart pounding. Marcus grabbed my shoulder. That was something, Ty. We're not done yet. But for the first time in days, I felt like maybe, just maybe, we had a shot. The 30-minute recess felt like 30 hours. I stood outside City Hall, watching Morris huddle with his lawyers. They kept glancing at me, calculating. Sarah Lindquist was on her phone, pacing, her face tight with stress. Marcus leaned against the wall beside me. Think we got them? Don't know yet. Counsel could go either way. Garcia joined us. Shorter guy, stocky, with scars running up his left arm from an IED blast. Whatever happens, Ty, you stood up. That matters. Thompson nodded, quiet as always. He'd only spoken 3 words to me in 6 months, but he showed up every morning. That was enough. Delia appeared from the parking lot. I sent the financial documents to a reporter at the county paper, off the record for now, but if this goes south, we have backup. Thank you. She squeezed my arm. My brother would have liked you. The doors opened. Time to go back in. The chamber felt different now. Tense. The audience packed tighter. I noticed a woman in the back with a camera, press maybe. The story was spreading. The council chair called order. We've deliberated. Before we vote, we want to hear from the county ADA compliance inspector. She's been reviewing the materials during recess. A woman in a gray suit stood, mid-40s, professional, carrying a tablet. My name is Janet Pierce. I'm the county's disability access coordinator. My stomach dropped. I hadn't known they'd bring an inspector. I've reviewed the photos, documents, and videos provided by Mr. Cross. I've also reviewed the complaint filed by the Homeowners Association. She paused, looked at the council. Based on my assessment, the program in question does not violate ADA standards. Morris shot to his feet. That's impossible! Mr. Morris, please sit down. The chair's voice was sharp. Janet continued, adaptive recreational programs are distinct from medical therapy programs. Mr. Cross holds valid certification as an adaptive sports trainer. His equipment meets safety standards. His waivers are legally sound. And critically, he's not charging for services, which exempts him from several commercial facility requirements. She pulled up photos on the screen. My ramps, my harnesses. This equipment is actually better than what I've seen at some certified facilities. Portable ramps rated for 400 pounds. USCG-approved flotation devices. Posted emergency protocols. Mr. Cross has done his homework. I wanted to collapse with relief, but I stayed standing. Morris's lawyer stood. Inspector Pierce, what about insurance liability? Personal liability insurance is recommended but not required for non-commercial recreational activities on private property. Mr. Cross has documented waivers. His legal exposure is minimal. The lawyer sat down. Morris looked like he'd swallowed glass. The council chair nodded. Thank you, Inspector. Now, regarding the Homeowners Association's concerns about neighborhood disruption. There's no disruption, someone shouted from the audience. I turned. It was old Mrs. Chen from 3 houses down. She stood, all 5 feet of her, trembling with anger. I live next door to Mr. Cross. Those boys are quiet, respectful. They helped me carry groceries last week. The only disruption is Morris's security guards harassing everyone. Another voice. I've seen the morning sessions. They're peaceful, not loud. Morris tried to respond. The parking violations alone. There are no parking violations, the chair interrupted. I checked with code enforcement, 4 vehicles maximum during sessions, all legally parked, well within residential limits. Morris's face was red now, furious. The chair looked at the council members. Unless there are further questions, I'm calling for a vote. All in favor of allowing Mr. Cross's program to continue? 6 hands went up. Opposed? 1 hand, the youngest council member, who'd been taking notes from Morris all night. Motion carries. Mr. Cross, your program is recognized as a legitimate adaptive recreational activity. The Homeowners Association's complaint is dismissed. The chamber erupted. My guys were on their feet cheering. Marcus grabbed me in a bear hug. Garcia was crying. Thompson smiled. First time I'd ever seen it. But I was watching Morris. He stood slowly, gathered his papers, and walked out. His lawyers followed. Sarah Lindquist slipped out a side door. This wasn't over. I could feel it. Outside, the reporters found me. Local paper, a TV station from the next county. Mr. Cross, how do you feel about the decision? Grateful. These men deserve support. What about the allegations from the homeowners association? I think the council made the right call, and I think some people need to remember that veterans aren't a problem to be solved. They're human beings. Marcus stepped in, faced the camera directly. I'm alive because of Ty's pool. Anyone got a problem with that, they can talk to me. The reporters ate it up. We drove home in convoy. 8 vehicles. My guys were celebrating, windows down, music playing. It felt good, like we'd won something real. But when I pulled into my driveway, the security guards were still there. I parked, got out, walked over. You can leave now, council ruled in my favor. The guard, older guy with gray in his beard, shrugged. We have a contract with the homeowners association. Until that's terminated, we stay. The association has no grounds anymore. Not my problem. I go where I'm paid to go. I went inside. The high from the council meeting was fading fast. Morris wasn't going to let this drop. The guards proved it. My phone buzzed. Text from an unknown number. You made a mistake tonight. This neighborhood has rules. You're not above them. I deleted it. 5 minutes later, another one. Enjoy your victory. It won't last. I blocked the number. Marcus called. Ty, you seeing this? Seeing what? Facebook. Someone started a petition. Remove dangerous pool program from our neighborhood. It's got 300 signatures already. I pulled up the page. The petition was full of lies. Photos of my pool with captions like, unregulated facility endangers children. Comments about property values, safety concerns, stranger danger. The person who started it, anonymous. But the first 20 signatures were all homeowners association board members and their families. Garcia texted, people are posting my address, saying I'm a threat. What the hell, Ty? Then Thompson, someone egged my truck. I sat down, stared at James's dog tag on the table. We'd won the legal battle, but Morris was waging a different war now. Social pressure, reputation, fear. My phone rang. Delia. Ty, they're calling an emergency homeowners association meeting tomorrow night. Special vote on neighborhood safety protocols. I think Morris is going to try to ban all guest access to properties. It's a workaround. If your guys can't legally enter the neighborhood, they can't use your pool. Can he do that? If he gets enough votes, yes. Association bylaws give the board broad authority over access policies. I rubbed my face. How do I fight that? Show up. Bring everyone. Make them see these men as people, not threats. The next day, the online attacks got worse. Someone created a fake Facebook profile using Marcus's photo, posted violent threats. Marcus called me, voice shaking. Ty, my VA counselor, saw the profile. She's asking questions. They're making me look unstable. We'll report it, get it taken down. It's already been shared 200 times. Damage is done. I reported the profile. Facebook said it would review within 48 hours. Too slow. Thompson called. I got fired. My boss saw the posts, said I'm a liability. Ty, I need that job. Garcia, my landlord is threatening eviction, says I'm causing problems. Everything was unraveling. I went to the pool, stared at the water, thought about James, about the promise I made myself after his funeral, to never let another brother down. But I was losing, not in court, in the court of public opinion. Morris knew exactly what he was doing. That evening, I drove to the homeowners association meeting. My guys wanted to come. I told them to stay home. Too risky. The crowd was already hostile. The meeting was at the community center. 150 people. Standing room only. Morris at the front, looking confident. He started without preamble. Tonight, we're voting on enhanced security protocols. Given recent events, we need to protect our residents from unauthorized access. The proposed policy limits all guest entry to immediate family members only. No exceptions. Someone raised a hand. What about contractors, service workers? Pre-approved with 48 hours notice. We're creating a registry. Delia stood. This is insane. You're turning the neighborhood into a gated prison. We're ensuring safety, Morris countered. Residents have expressed concerns about strangers on their property. Those aren't strangers, I said, standing. They're veterans. Morris looked at me, smiled. Mr. Cross, I'm surprised you came, given your recent legal troubles. I won. Council voted 7-1. You won a battle. But this neighborhood has standards. If residents feel unsafe, and many do, we have a responsibility to act. Then let them meet the people you're calling threats. We did. Some of your clients have criminal records. The room went silent. I felt the blood drain from my face. What are you talking about? Morris projected a screen. Names, mugshots, arrest records. Garcia. DUI 3 years ago. Thompson. Domestic disturbance 5 years ago, charges dropped. These are the people you're bringing into our neighborhood, Morris said. Past their primes, troubled, potentially dangerous. Garcia's face on that screen. Younger, drunk, broken, before the program, before he got clean. I stood frozen, couldn't speak. Delia tried. Those are old records. People change. The risk remains, Morris said, and I won't gamble with resident safety. We vote now, all in favor of the new security protocols. Hands went up, dozens of them. Opposed? Delia's hand, a few others, not enough. Motion passes. Effective immediately, all guest access is restricted. Mr. Cross, your pool is still yours, but your program cannot continue unless participants are immediate family members. He'd won, found the loophole, used my guys' pasts against them. I walked out, didn't wait for the meeting to end, drove home in silence. When I got there, Marcus was sitting on my porch. I heard, he said. I'm sorry, Ty. This is my fault. That DUI... It's not your fault. I was drunk, crashed my car, could have killed someone. Morris is right. I'm a risk. You're not. Then why are they winning? I didn't have an answer. We sat there in the dark, the security guard still parked at the curb, watching. My phone buzzed. Email from Sarah Lindquist. Subject, apology and proposal. I almost deleted it, but something made me open it. Mr. Cross, I owe you an apology. Douglas Morris approached our foundation 6 weeks ago, promised a large private donation if we helped pressure you to close. I agreed without investigating. That was wrong. I've since learned the grant money we received has been mismanaged by our board. I'm resigning. But before I go, I want to help. Call me. I showed Marcus. Think it's a trap? Maybe, but right now, traps are all we've got. I called her. Mr. Cross, thank you for responding. I don't expect forgiveness, but I have information you need. About Morris, about the security company, about why he's so desperate to shut you down. I'm listening. Not over the phone. Can you meet me tomorrow morning? There's someone you need to talk to. Who? The county auditor. She's been investigating Secure Neighbor Solutions for fraud. Morris is in deeper than you think. And your pool? It's not the target. It's collateral damage. I hung up, looked at Marcus. We're not done yet. He nodded slowly. What's the plan? Find out what Morris is really hiding and burn it to the ground. Sarah Lindquist met me at a coffee shop 2 towns over. 8 a.m., barely anyone inside. She looked tired, worn down. Thanks for coming, she said. No handshake, just exhaustion. I sat across from her. You said there's someone I need to meet. She's running late, traffic. Sarah wrapped her hands around her coffee cup. Before she gets here, I need you to understand something. When Morris approached us about your program, he framed it as a liability issue, showed us photos, talked about insurance gaps, made it sound like we'd be protecting veterans by stopping you. And you believed him. I did, because I wanted that donation, $50,000. Our foundation's been struggling, board members taking salaries instead of funding programs. I convinced myself Morris was doing good. She looked at me. I was wrong, and I'm sorry. The door opened. A woman in her 50s walked in, carrying a leather briefcase. Professional, sharp eyes. Mr. Cross, she extended her hand. Angela Reeves, County Auditor's Office. We shook. She sat down, opened her briefcase, pulled out a thick folder. I've been investigating Secure Neighbor Solutions for 8 months. They've received contracts from 4 different homeowners associations in this county. Same pattern every time. Fear campaigns, manufactured safety concerns, then residents buying surveillance systems at inflated prices. Morris gets 15% kickbacks, I said. Not just Morris, every HOA president involved. We're talking about $200,000 in under-the-table payments. It's organized fraud. She slid papers across the table. But here's what's interesting. Secure Neighbor's owner, Kevin Harper, has ties to a larger operation. They're flipping homes in neighborhoods where they create chaos. My stomach tightened. What do you mean flipping? Properties in your neighborhood. 6 homes sold in the last year at below market rates. Families pressured out by fines, restrictions, harassment. Those homes were purchased by a shell company. Guess who sits on the board? Morris and Harper. They create problems, drive down property values, buy cheap, then flip after the security improvements raise values again. Your pool program threatened that. Veterans in the neighborhood, that's positive, stable. Good for property values. They needed you gone. I sat back, processing. This wasn't about safety. It was about money, real estate, a coordinated scheme. Can you prove this? I have financial records, emails, transaction histories, enough to bring charges, but I need testimony from victims, people who were forced out, people currently being pressured. She looked at me. People like you. I'm not being forced out. Not yet, but Morris isn't done. The guest restriction is just the start. Next will be noise complaints, property maintenance citations, anything to make you sell. Sarah leaned forward. That's why I'm here. I have emails from Morris, instructions on how to pressure you, specific tactics. I kept them because something felt wrong. Now I know why. Angela pulled out a recording device. I need you to tell me everything, every interaction with Morris, every fine, every threat. Build me a timeline. I spent an hour recounting it all. The security guards, the lawsuit, the fake Facebook profiles, the meeting where they used my guy's records against them. Angela took notes, asked questions. By the end, her jaw was tight. This is worse than I thought. They're not just committing fraud. They're targeting vulnerable populations. Veterans with PTSD. That's a federal offense under housing discrimination laws. What happens now? I take this to the district attorney. We open a formal investigation, but that takes time. Weeks, maybe months. Morris will keep pushing until then. So I'm supposed to just wait while he destroys everything? Angela closed her folder. Or you give him enough rope to hang himself. I met her eyes. What do you mean? Morris thinks he's won. He thinks you're cornered. People like that get sloppy, confident. If you can get him to overstep, make a threat, break a law, do something undeniable, we can move faster. You want me to bait him. I want you to protect yourself. If he crosses a line, document it. Record it. Then call me immediately. She handed me a card with a direct number written on the back. Sarah added, there's something else. The foundation grant. $250,000. I've been digging into the board's spending. $70,000 went to consulting fees paid to a company that doesn't exist. Shell Corporation, same one buying houses in your neighborhood. They're laundering grant money? That's what it looks like. If we can prove it, the foundation's board goes down too, and Morris loses his cover story about helping veterans. I stood. Thank you both for coming forward. Angela packed her briefcase. Mr. Cross, be careful. Cornered animals bite. I drove home thinking about next steps. How to make Morris slip up without getting myself arrested. How to protect my guys while gathering evidence. When I pulled into my driveway, Delia was waiting. We have a problem, she said. Morris called another emergency vote, tonight. He's proposing a special assessment. Every homeowner pays $5,000 for enhanced security infrastructure. Cameras on every street, patrol increases, gate installation at the neighborhood entrance. $5,000? Mandatory. Anyone who doesn't pay faces liens on their property. That's insane. People won't vote for that. He's already been calling residents, telling them crime is up, showing them fake statistics, playing videos of suspicious individuals in the neighborhood. She pulled up her phone, showed me a video in the HOA group, grainy footage of Garcia walking to my house. Caption, unknown individual accessing private property. That's Garcia. He's not unknown. He's my friend. To Morris, he's a prop, evidence of danger. I felt rage building, hot and sharp. What time's the vote? 7 p.m. Community Center. I checked my watch, 6 hours. I called Marcus. Get everyone together. We're going to that meeting. Ty, they'll use us against you again. I know, but we're done hiding. If Morris wants to make this about who we are, let's show them exactly who we are. That afternoon, I sat down with my guys, all 8 of them, in my living room. Tonight, they're voting on cameras and gates, trying to lock down the neighborhood, using you as the reason. I need to know. Are you willing to stand up there and tell your stories? The real ones. Not the arrest records, not the worst moments. The truth about who you are now. Garcia spoke first. I got a DUI 3 years ago. Lost my job, lost my family. I was ready to die. Your pool gave me a reason to get sober. I've been clean ever since. If telling that story helps, I'll do it. Thompson, quiet as ever, nodded. I'll talk about the PTSD, about the domestic call, about how my ex-wife called the cops because I was having flashbacks. Charges dropped because she understood. But Morris doesn't care about context. I'll give them context. One by one, they agreed. These men who'd been to war, who'd seen friends die, who carried scars inside and out. They were willing to expose their pain to strangers. For the program. For each other. You don't have to do this, I said. Marcus shook his head. Yeah, we do. You stood up for us. Time we stood up for ourselves. We arrived at the community center at 6:45. The parking lot was packed. News van from the county station. More reporters than last time. The story was spreading. Inside, standing room only again. But this time, the energy was different. Angrier. People glaring at us as we walked in. Morris stood at the front, looking calm, prepared. He saw me and smiled. The meeting started. Morris laid out the proposal. $5,000 per household. Full surveillance system. Controlled access. For everyone's safety and peace of mind. The screen showed statistics. Crime up 30% in surrounding areas. Our neighborhood is vulnerable. We need to act now. Someone shouted, I can't afford $5,000. Morris responded smoothly. We're offering payment plans. 12 months, interest-free. But the assessment is mandatory. This is about protecting your largest investment, your home. Another voice. Why do we need this? Nothing's happened here. Morris clicked to the next slide. Photos of my guys, walking to my house, in my backyard, at the pool. The captions were damning. Unauthorized access, unknown individuals, potential threats. Garcia's hands clenched into fists beside me. Morris continued. We have a situation in our neighborhood that requires immediate attention. Despite the council's ruling, residents remain concerned. These images were taken over the past month. Multiple individuals entering private property, some with criminal histories. That's enough. I stood. Those men are veterans. They're not threats, they're heroes. Heroes with arrest records, Morris shot back. Heroes who've been involved in violent incidents. I'm not questioning their service. I'm questioning whether they belong in a residential neighborhood unsupervised. The room erupted, people yelling, some supporting Morris, others defending us. Marcus stood. You want to know about my arrest? Fine. I drove drunk, crashed my car, hurt nobody but myself. Know why I was drunk? Because I'd just come back from watching my best friend bleed out in a ditch in Kandahar. Because I couldn't sleep without seeing his face. Because the VA had a 6-month waiting list for counseling. The room quieted. I made a mistake. I paid for it. License suspended, fines, community service. But I got help, got sober, found Tyler's pool, and for the first time in 4 years, I felt like maybe I could survive. His voice cracked. You want to put up cameras to keep me out? Fine, but know what you're really doing. You're telling veterans they don't belong, that their worst moments define them forever. Garcia stood next. My name's Rafael Garcia. That domestic disturbance? My ex-wife called 911 because I was having a flashback. Thought I was back in Iraq. She was scared. So was I. The cops came, talked me down, no charges filed. But that record follows me. Employers see it, landlords see it, now you see it. He looked at Morris. You show that photo like I'm a criminal, but you don't show the 60 hours I volunteered at the food bank, or the kids I mentor at the community center. You show one bad night and call it my whole life. Thompson stood, barely spoke above a whisper. I tried to kill myself twice. Once in Afghanistan, once here. Tyler's pool is the only place I want to live. Take that away. I don't know what happens. The silence was absolute. Morris tried to regain control. This is exactly why we need protocols. Shut up! The voice came from the back. Mrs. Chen, the elderly woman who'd defended us at the council meeting. She walked forward, shaking with anger. You stand there talking about safety? I've lived here 30 years. Never felt unsafe until you started this campaign. These boys help me with groceries, shovel my walk in winter, check on me when it's hot. They're better neighbors than half the people in this room. Another voice, younger man I didn't recognize. I'm an EMT. I've responded to this neighborhood 6 times this year. Know how many were related to Tyler's program? 0. Know how many were domestic disputes, drug overdoses, and drunk driving? All 6. Maybe we should install cameras on our own houses first. Delia stood. I want to talk about money. Morris says this assessment is for security, but Secure Neighbor Solutions is owned by Kevin Harper. Harper co-owns a real estate investment company with Morris. They've been buying homes in this neighborhood at below market rates after pressuring families out. This isn't about security, it's about profit. Morris's face went red. That's defamatory. It's public record. Delia held up papers. 6 homes sold in 18 months, all bought by Pinewood Holdings, LLC. Morris and Harper are listed as managing partners. You're scaring people to drive down values, then buying cheap. The room exploded, residents shouting, demanding answers, Morris trying to talk over them. The HOA board secretary stood. Mr. Morris, is this true? It's a legal investment. You're profiting from HOA decisions you control. That's a conflict of interest. I've broken no laws. Angela Reeves entered from the side door, showed her badge. Mr. Morris, I'm from the county auditor's office. We need to speak, now. Morris's confidence shattered. I'm in the middle of a meeting. The meeting's over, the board secretary said. I'm calling for a vote of no confidence in the president. All in favor? Nearly every hand went up. Morris looked around the room, cornered. You're all making a mistake. The mistake was trusting you, the secretary said. Effective immediately, you're removed from the board, pending a full audit of association finances. Morris grabbed his briefcase, pushed through the crowd toward the exit. Angela followed him out. The room slowly emptied. My guys stood together, exhausted but standing tall. Delia approached. You did it. We did it, I corrected. But something felt wrong, too easy. Morris had folded too fast. That my phone buzzed. Text from Angela. Morris is gone, left before I could question him, putting out a notice now. Meet me tomorrow. We need to secure evidence before he destroys it. I showed Marcus. Think he'll run? I think he'll fight, just differently. We drove home in convoy again, but this time, no celebration, just wary silence. When I pulled up to my house, the security guards were gone. No vehicles at the curb, no one watching. That should have felt like victory. Instead, it felt like the calm before something worse. I went inside, looked at James's dog tag. We're close, brother, but it's not over. My phone rang. Unknown number. I almost didn't answer. Tyler Cross? A man's voice, rough, unfamiliar. Who is this? Someone who knows what you're trying to do. You need to stop, now. I don't respond to threats. Not a threat, a warning. Morris isn't your real problem. You're poking something bigger. Walk away while you still can. The line went dead. I stood there, phone in hand, heart pounding. Bigger than Morris, bigger than the HOA, bigger than I'd realized. What had I walked into? I didn't sleep that night, kept replaying the phone call, that voice, cold, professional, not Morris, someone else. At 6 a.m., Angela Reeves called. We have a problem. Morris's financial records are gone. His home office was cleaned out overnight. Computer hard drive removed. File cabinets empty. He knew we were coming. Someone tipped him off. More than that, someone helped him disappear evidence that fast. Professional level. She paused. Tyler, I'm getting pushback from my supervisor. Suddenly this investigation is low priority. Something's wrong. What does that mean? It means someone with influence wants this buried. I'm going to keep digging, but I need you to be careful. If they're protecting Morris, they might come after you next. I hung up and stared at James's dog tag on my kitchen counter. 2 years I'd been running this program. 2 years of peace. Now everything was crumbling. Marcus showed up an hour later. Didn't knock, just walked in. We had that kind of friendship now. You look like hell, he said. That'd feel worse. I told him about the call, about Morris's disappearing act. So what do we do? I don't know. For the first time, I genuinely don't know. We sat in silence. 2 veterans who'd seen combat. who'd faced down enemies with weapons. But this, invisible forces, bureaucratic manipulation, that was a different kind of war. My phone buzzed. Email from Sarah Lindquist. Tyler, I found something. The foundation's shell company that received grant money, it's connected to a state senator's re-election campaign, major donor. If this investigation continues, it could expose political corruption at levels I didn't anticipate. I'm scared. They've already threatened my job. Be careful. And I showed Marcus. A senator, he said quietly. We're not fighting Morris. We're fighting a system. Maybe we should stop. Let Angela handle it. Keep our heads down. Marcus looked at me like I'd slapped him. You don't believe that? I believe I'm putting you guys at risk. Garcia lost his job. Thompson almost lost his housing. How much more do I ask you to sacrifice? You're not asking. We're choosing. He leaned forward. Tyler, you know what James would say right now? I felt my throat tighten. Don't. He'd say the fight isn't over until you decide it's over. He'd say running is easier than standing, and he'd say you're better than easy. I closed my eyes. Remember James's last message to me, 3 weeks before he died. Ty, stop playing it safe. Some things are worth the risk. All right, I said. We finish this. How? I thought for a long moment. Then it hit me. Morris wanted to install cameras everywhere, right? Surveillance, documentation. What if we do the same? Not to him, to ourselves. Prove what this program actually is. You want to record the sessions? Everything, every morning, every exercise, every conversation. Show people the reality, not Morris's version, ours. Marcus nodded slowly. Transparency is a weapon. And we go public, not just local news. We tell the whole story, the fraud, the pressure campaign, the political connections. Make it too big to bury. You'll make powerful enemies. Already have them, might as well make it count. We spent the next week documenting everything. I set up cameras around the pool, not hidden, obvious. I told every veteran what we were doing and why. They all agreed. We recorded morning sessions, showed the exercises, the safety protocols, the conversations. Marcus talking about his sobriety. Garcia mentoring a younger vet. Thompson finally opening up about his flashbacks. Real moments, raw and honest. Delia helped me compile the financial documents. Traced every connection between Morris, Harper, the shell companies, and the senator's campaign. Built a timeline with emails, transaction records, and testimonies. Sarah provided internal foundation documents showing the grant mismanagement. Emails between board members discussing how to handle the Tyler Cross problem. After 7 days, we had everything. A complete picture of corruption from the neighborhood level to the state capitol. I contacted a reporter from a major state newspaper, investigative journalist named Rachel Kim. She'd broken stories about municipal fraud before. I sent her everything. She called 2 hours later. Mr. Cross, this is explosive. If even half of this is verifiable, it's front-page material. It's all verifiable. I have witnesses, documents, video evidence. I need 3 days to fact-check and get legal clearance. Can you sit tight? I've waited this long. Those 3 days were the longest of my life. I kept expecting threats, police showing up, something. But nothing came. Just eerie silence. Then, on Thursday morning, the story broke. Front page, full spread. Veteran program targeted in real estate. Fraud scheme, county investigation reveals HOA corruption tied to political donor. Rachel had done her homework. Every detail, every connection. Photos of Morris, Harper, the senator. Quotes from veterans. Delia's financial analysis. Sarah's testimony about foundation mismanagement. The story went viral. Within hours, national news outlets picked it up. CNN, NPR, even a mention on the evening network news. My phone exploded. Interview requests, support messages, donations to keep the program running. But the most important call came from Angela Reeves. Tyler, the district attorney, just announced a formal investigation. Morris and Harper are being charged with fraud, embezzlement, and conspiracy. The senator's office is in full damage control, and the foundation's board is being audited by federal authorities. You did it. We did it. There's more. The Homeowners Association voted to dissolve the guest restriction policy, unanimously, and they're offering to fund accessibility improvements to your pool, ramps, lifts, the works. As an apology. I sat down, couldn't quite process it. Tyler, you still there? Yeah. That afternoon, Marcus and the guys came over. We sat around the pool. First time in weeks we could just breathe. What happens now? Garcia asked. We keep going, I said. Same program, same mission, just without people trying to destroy us every 5 minutes. Thompson actually laughed. First time I'd heard that sound. There's something else, Marcus said. The VA called me. They want to officially partner with your program, provide funding, resources, referrals. Turn this into a model for other communities. I looked at him. You serious? Dead serious. They saw the news coverage, saw what we built here. They want to replicate it. For 2 years, I'd been running this program out of guilt, out of a need to fix what I couldn't fix with James, out of desperation to give these men something I couldn't give my brother. But somewhere along the way, it became real, became bigger than my guilt, became about them, about community, about the simple act of showing up for each other. What do you think? Marcus asked. Partner with the VA, go official? I thought about it, about losing the intimacy, the simplicity, about paperwork and protocols and bureaucracy. But I also thought about reaching more veterans, about funding that could help instead of hurt, about legitimacy that meant we'd never have to fight this battle again. Let's do it, I said, but on our terms. We keep it real, keep it about the people, not the system. The deal. We shook on it. That evening, I sat alone by the pool, the sun setting, water reflecting orange and pink. I pulled out James's dog tag, held it up to the light. I know you're not here to see this, brother, but I hope somehow you know. I couldn't save you, but maybe I saved them. Maybe that's enough. I thought about the cost, the stress, the attacks, the fear. Thompson lost his job, Garcia his apartment. Marcus almost broke under the financial pressure. Delia risked her position in the community. Sarah lost her career. Victory wasn't clean. It never was. But Morris was facing criminal charges. Harper's company was under investigation. The senator's campaign was in free fall. The foundation's board was being replaced. And most importantly, 8 veterans still had a place to swim, to heal, to be human. 6 months later, the program had expanded to 40 veterans. 3 other neighborhoods in the county started similar programs using our model. The VA provided a grant, $50,000 managed transparently with community oversight. Morris took a plea deal, 3 years probation, full restitution, permanent ban from HOA leadership. Harper faced stiffer charges. The senator chose not to run for re-election. Sarah Lindquist started a new nonprofit focused on actual veteran services. No board corruption, no political games, just help. Delia became the new Homeowners Association treasurer. First thing she did was make all financial records publicly accessible online, full transparency. And me, I kept showing up every morning, 6 a.m., opening the gate for whoever needed it. Thompson got a new job. Garcia found stable housing. Marcus celebrated 1 year sober. One morning, as I was setting up, a younger guy showed up, early 20s, military haircut, haunted eyes. You Tyler Cross? Yeah. My name's David. I just got back from Syria. My buddy told me about this place. Said it saved his life. He paused. I'm not doing so good. Can I swim? I looked at him, saw James, saw Marcus, saw myself. Yeah, man, you can swim. He walked to the pool's edge, stared at the water like it was 1,000 miles deep. It gets easier, I said. Does it? No, but you get stronger. He nodded, dove in. I sat down, watched him swim, thought about all the battles, legal, social, political, internal. We'd won, not perfectly, not without scars, but we'd won. I pulled out my phone, took a photo of the pool, veterans in the water, morning light breaking through. Posted it with a simple caption, still here, still swimming, still fighting for each other. Within an hour, 300 likes, 50 comments, messages from veterans across the country asking how to start similar programs. The fight wasn't over. It never would be. There would always be another Morris, Another system trying to crush something good. But we'd proven something. That ordinary people fighting together could win. That truth, when documented and shared, was powerful. That community, real community, was worth defending. I looked at James's dog tag one more time. We did it, brother, not the way I planned, not without cost, but we did it. Marcus walked over, handed me coffee. You good? Yeah, I'm good. Liar. I smiled. Yeah, but I'm here. That's something. That's everything. We stood together, watching the sun rise over a pool full of veterans who refused to give up, who chose each other over fear, who proved that healing doesn't come from systems or structures. It comes from showing up, every morning, no matter what. And that's exactly what we'd keep doing. For James, for them, for everyone who needed a place to swim. The war was over. But the mission? That was just beginning.